I've been to Israel perhaps 50 times or more. I have very deep commitments and roots to Israel. I come to Israel now in September of 2023 to a more troubled and divided Israel than I have seen since I started coming in 1965. Israel has always had a tension. It was created as a democratic and Jewish state. So there's always been a potential tension between those two, which has now come to full bloom. I have not seen, in all the times I've been here, the kinds of concerns about Israel's future. People seriously talking about having second passports, of Israeli entrepreneurs registering their companies in the U.S. rather than in Israel. Friends talking about whether their children will be serving in the army, reservists who are not coming back for training, and of course, week after week after week of massive demonstrations over the so-called judicial reforms. This is really quite new, and it goes beyond, it seems to me, the individual pieces of legislation that have been proposed, although that's been the catalyst. It's really exploring an existential question of where Israel goes on these bigger issues of a Jewish and democratic state, of a Western or theological and theocratic state. One thing is for political leaders to try to avoid introducing legislation that exacerbates these natural divisions within the country. So in a way, proposing the court reforms has exposed unnecessarily these divisions. It's led to a greater polarization. And by bringing it to the fore, it's exposed divisions which could have been avoided. Second, one of the reasons that the JPPI produced the Perspectives book on the 75th anniversary, David Ben-Gurion, the first prime minister in 1950, asked 50 Jewish scholars to discuss who is a Jew. We sought here to look at the state of Israel 75 years into its new sovereignty. And we wanted to have this multiplicity of views so people could be exposed to them. So one of the ways to deal with the current problem is something that is not existing now, and that is dialogue between competing movements, between those who are in the nationalistic religious camp and those who are in the more secular camp. They're not talking to each other. In a healthy democracy, the way to solve problems is through dialogue, it's through compromise, it's through working out these tough divisions. And that's not happening. And I hope that one of the catalysts for this book is to encourage people to look at the multiplicity of views. We consciously did not try to tilt this to the left or to the right. We wanted to expose people. I hope that this book again will be a catalyst to begin that very much needed dialogue.